Hello, and welcome to The Equalist. On this episode, I will be discussing the Iranian nuclear deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. On July 14th, 2015, the JCPOA was established by the Islamic Republic of Iran and the E3 EU plus 3, which is China, France, Germany, the Russian Federation, the United Kingdom, and the United States. The JCPOA was created to ensure that Iran's nuclear program will be exclusively peaceful. Under these new provisions, Iran reaffirms they will never seek, develop, or acquire any nuclear weapons. The JCPOA ensures Iran limits the enrichment activities of uranium. Provisions provide transparency and verification of this. For reciprocation, the United Nations Security Council sanctions will be lifted. Once the sanctions are lifted, the country will be able to resume selling oil on international markets and using the global financial system for trade. Iran has the fourth largest oil reserves in the world, and the energy industry is braced for lower prices. Iran will also be able to access more than $100 billion in assets frozen overseas. This Iranian nuclear deal lifts 19 different sanctions, freeing up international trade so Iran's economy can grow. 8 years after the adoption date, EU proliferation-related sanctions will be lifted as well. The EU/EU plus 3 and Iran will meet at the ministerial level every 2 years or earlier if needed in order to review and assess progress and to adopt appropriate decisions by consensus. The first 8 years of this plan will limit the enrichment activities and the research and development of uranium. In the first 10 years, IR-1 centrifuges should be phased out from Iran. Centrifuges are the containment pods of gaseous uranium. IR-1 is the acronym for Iranian-1. Iran will be allowed to keep and use 5060 IR-1 centrifuges. Anything in excess is under IAEA continuous monitoring. The deal continues up to 15 years. Iran will carry out its uranium enrichment related activities, including safeguarded research and developing exclusively in their facility to keep its level of uranium enrichment at up to 3.67%. The centrifuges must spin very quickly in the range of 100,000 RPMs. The great speed of the centrifuges separates the uranium material between U-235 and U-238 atoms. The U-235 is the uranium material atom used for nuclear power such as bombs or nuclear energy for power plants. The U-238 atoms of the uranium are nearly worthless when it comes to the use of nuclear power, but there is a lot of U-238 compared to U-235. So the immense speed of the centrifuge separates the atoms for nuclear power to be collected and used. Low enriched uranium, which has 3 to 4% concentration of U-235, can be used to produce fuel for nuclear power plants. Weapons grade uranium is 90% enriched. The Iranian nuclear deal ensures that Iran's uranium enrichment levels were kept up to 3.67% as agreed in the deal with world powers. By agreeing to this deal, Iran can enjoy the clean energy for nuclear plants, but are at 86.33% below the needed requirements to produce nuclear bombs. You gather uranium by mining for uranium ores. In order to turn uranium from ore, you must apply acid to dissolve the ore. About 10% of the world's electricity is generated from uranium in nuclear reactors. Belgium, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Finland, France, Hungary, Sweden, Switzerland, and Ukraine all get about 30% or more of the electricity from nuclear reactors. The USA has just under 100 reactors operating, supplying 20% of its electricity. France gets over 70% of its electricity from uranium. Over the 60 years that the world has enjoyed the benefits of cleanly generated electricity from nuclear power, there have been over 1,700 reactor years of operational experience. Some of the isotopes from uranium are called radioisotopes, and they play important roles for medicine. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, the nuclear watchdog of the United Nations, promotes the peaceful use of atomic energy while trying to make sure that the technology is not used for military purposes. It has a high-profile role in monitoring compliance with international safeguards, including the 1968 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. In recent years, it has been active in Iran, North Korea, and Iraq. The agency also researches the use of atomic energy in such areas as agriculture, industry, and medicine. It shares expertise among its members, especially those in the developing world, and sets safety standards. The IAEA advises its members about developing and operating nuclear power stations and disposing of radioactive waste. Under the JCPOA, Iran will address past and present issues of concern relating to its nuclear program. Iran will satisfy transparency measures as set out in this JCPOA and its annexes. These measures include a long-term IAEA presence in Iran, IAEA monitoring of uranium ore concentrate produced by Iran from all uranium ore concentrate plants for about 25 years, containment and surveillance of centrifuge, rotors, and bellows for 20 years, use the IAEA approved and certified modern technologies, including online enrichment measurement and electronic seals, and a reliable mechanism to ensure speedy resolution of the IAEA access concerns for 15 years. Iran will not engage in activities, including at the R&D level, that could contribute to the development of nuclear explosive devices. So, in the end, the JCPOA is designed to ensure to the world that Iran will not get their hands on nuclear weapons, whether creating or buying them. 11 IAEA investigations have taken place since the adoption date, and no violations occurred. The deal was created to lift economic crippling sanctions and introduce Iran to international trade and develop diplomatic relations with the EU, Russia, Iran, and the United States. Again, it ensured that Iran will not buy, distribute, or create nuclear weapons. President Trump pulled the United States out of the deal on May 8, 2018, and imposed its former sanctions on Iran again, severely crippling the Iranian economy due to limiting trade. Trump's decision seems to have damaged relations with the European allies. Since Trump's decision, Iran violated the deal with the remaining 5 countries, trying to find leverage to have more crippling sanctions lifted. Trump's decision to pull out of the JCPOA has left a few problems. Since less monitorization of Iran's nuclear program, it leaves a greater risk for Iran to create nuclear bombs. It also alienates European allies from the United States. Proposals to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize has been suggested to change Trump's mind. The other European countries decided to stay in the deal, and the conflicting sanctions causes tension between the allies. Thank you for watching The Equalist. This concludes the episode of the JCPOA. If you liked the video, hit the like and subscribe. Thank you for watching The Equalist.